Hey everybody. Hello, hello. How are you today? I'm a minute late maybe because I was getting ready and I was also watching Jennifer in the background. So she's live right now too, which I'm surprised Brianne is in here saying hello because I know she's over there moderating Jennifer. She's such a multitasker. Well, thank you for being here. I'm going to sit on my chair. Sorry, it's squeaky. Adjust me down. There we go. Hello, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. It is Monday, so I'm doing Mixed Media Monday here on the Pink and Main YouTube and Facebook channels. And if you haven't met me before, my name is Libby Hickson, and I'm thrilled to be going live with you, and I appreciate you tuning in. So mixed media, I'm not going to go crazy mixed media on you guys, but I love to use different mediums and materials and stuff in my projects. I want to try to incorporate a little bit of that in with my beloved Pink and Main products. And so today I'm just going to be using our watercolors, which are the Water Gems watercolors. They're a powder watercolor. And I'm going to make a little textured background with it and paint with those watercolors. So in case you didn't know about them, I'm going to introduce you to them. Hello, everybody. Hi, Polly. Hello, Lee and Holly. And let's see, Sissy Sue. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Today is a double Pink and Main live kind of day because Demo Donna is going to be live later as well. So tune in for that too. She's going to be doing some cards with the Crafty Courtyard kit for October, which is super cute. It is actually this stamp set and I love it. Oops, sorry for the glare, but it's these cute little bears. And so tune in for that later with Demo Donna. Yay, Lee ordered some foiling things. Let me go ahead and show that on the screen because I use those on Friday. So look, I'm covered up by Lee's message. So on Fridays, I'm going to try to do Foiling Friday. So if you love the toner type of foiling, we're going to do that on Fridays, assuming I can think of things to do because I'm kind of new at it. So I'm learning as I go as well. There are a couple things I want to talk to you about before we dive into today's project. So let me pull up a little thing here. So we launched a fundraiser today for supporting the terrible devastation that has hit North Carolina from Hurricane Helene. And we're doing 100% of the profit from this beautiful stained glass views card panels pack. And it is 8 panels of just, A2 sized scenes that look like stained glass mountain scenes. And we're going to donate all the proceeds from the sale of this package to an organization that's assisting North Carolina. And here's a little closer look at those. I don't know if that's even much bigger for you, but you can see how beautiful those scenes are. And so they look beautiful. Just put it on your card front and add a message and some gems and you're good to go. Or you could just use it as is. You could do whatever you want with those. They're so beautiful. And you'd find those in the new section of our website. So let me take that back down. There we go. So as we're doing our fundraiser and launching our fundraiser today, and by the way, we talked with Shari Moss, who is from Lawn Fawn, and she lives just south of Asheville. So she was somebody I was super worried about when the storm was happening. And thankfully she is fine, but she's in the area and she helped us pick an organization to support that she personally has a friend that works at that organization. It's called Reconciliation House. And they recently got a grant to help with their operational costs. So right now, 100% of everything that's donated to that organization is definitely going directly to help the community. So that's a wonderful thing. So let's see, Karen is saying that she loves the Pink and Main foiling kit. Yes, we do have a foiling kit each month. We have a stamp kit each month. We have a Crafty Courtyard, which is a whole big kit that's jam-packed with stuff at a good deal every month. So anyway, I got off the subject of hurricanes for a second. And I do want to mention also that Pink and Main is going to have delayed shipping this week because Pink and Main is located on the Gulf Coast of Florida and they are getting ready for Hurricane Milton, which is now coming. So this hurricane season is a big thumbs down, too much scary stuff going on. And so Michelle's getting her home ready and the business ready and just, keep everyone there in your thoughts that nobody is horribly impacted by that hurricane, but it is looking like it's going to be another doozy. So anywho, so if you're wanting to find another way to help the people in North Carolina who are suffering from the after effects of Hurricane Helene, then check out our fundraiser. It's very affordable and we're going to do all the profits to Reconciliation House. All right. Okay. So, and then be patient if it doesn't mail out to you until next week, because that's the situation we're in right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to my overhead camera, and thank you for linking that, Brianne. You're such a rock star. Okay, so this is a card that I made for the release. I have a lot of stuff going on my desk here. So I used the holly branches. Wait, let me remember what these, oh my goodness, I'm having a little brain freeze on what these are actually called. This is the holly branch dies, and this is the winter fern dies. These are two different die sets. I just have them on my same magnetic panel. And I'm going to use these on my card today. So the fern is here, and I colored it kind of brown like branches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whole bunch of those hollies on the background of my card. I used just the outline shadow piece because that's like a solid holly. And this is something I love to do when I have, you know, either a coordinating die or a standalone die. It makes some nice texture on the background of your card. And so that's what I'm going to do with this. So I did go ahead and already cut out, because I didn't think you'd want to spend your time watching me die cut a bunch of stuff. I just took one of our watercolor panels. Let me get that out. This is the watercolor cardstock that we have at Pink and Main. It's a really heavyweight, 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. It comes in a pack of 5 sheets. And I took one of the sheets and just got as many hollies out of it as I could. We're going to see if it's enough. I didn't really check to make sure. And then I also die cut the ferns from it, and then also my card panel. Because I am going to be working with water and watercolor, I wanted a watercolor paper or a heavier weight paper so that that water isn't going to damage the card, which to be 100% honest, I think I may have just used regular Hammermill cardstock on this card. So it's a little warpy and stuff, but it took it. So either way, it's going to work either way. But, you know, when you're using water, you do want to use the right paper for the water. And so this time I did grab out my watercolor cardstock. Okay, so how's everyone doing today? I just said a whole mouthful of words before even really saying how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well today. So I'm going to take my little tool here and poke out the little bits. Okay, so look at this. So I just used as much of that cardstock, that watercolor cardstock, as I could, because I know some pieces are going to be going off the edge of my panel. So if some of them were not complete, I didn't worry about it. I just put my die in there and cut out everything I could. Now, I may not even need those pieces because sometimes I put the main ones down and then I trim, and then I'll have little pieces that I can glue in where needed as well. But I just wasn't sure how many of these I'm going to need today. I could have tried to count on my background, but since there's so many different parts and pieces going on, it was a little hard for me to tell. Okay. So I'm going to begin by getting these all glued down so then I can put something heavy on my panel and let the glue set while we work on our little ferns here. Okay. So pretty in pink. Yes, Lee loves pink. I guess you guys don't need to see my mouse while I'm doing this, do you? It's a gorgeous fall day in the mountains of Colorado. So nice. I saw a picture from Lee earlier and it looked absolutely beautiful. So one thing I want to think about with this, and I could even keep this in mind since I know what I'm doing with this panel, where sometimes I start with the background and I don't really know where it's going. I let the project kind of lead me where it wants to go. I don't need to worry too much if there's an open spot in the middle because I know I'm going to be putting something over the top of it. So I'm going to keep that in mind too as I put these down on here. And I kind of want them to go different ways. I don't want them to all be exactly the same orientation. I don't want to look too repetitive, if that makes sense. And look, I did die cut more than I needed, that's good. Better to have too many than too few. I'm going to put this one up a little more and then maybe try to squeeze something in there. My cardstock was a little dirty. Okay, let's see. I have my Pink and Main liquid glue. This is the, what do we call it? Easy Squeeze, I think, glue. Easy Squeeze craft glue. And I just transferred it into one of the little bottles that Pink and Main sells. I put a little pink on there so I'd remember. And then I put a pin in here, which also is in the Pink and Main shop. If you want to have little bottles and pins, we sell all that stuff. And I'm just going to start putting adhesive and gluing these down. Now I want to make sure I'm getting pretty good to the edges because we don't want these to pop off as we're watercoloring and doing whatever else. I want them down pretty good. And I do get quiet when I concentrate on stuff, sorry. It's hard to just keep talking, especially when you're alone in your craft room. Because really I am just alone in my craft room talking to myself, even though you guys are out there watching. I guess my dog's in here. I could pretend I'm talking to her. Right, Bonnie? Bonnie's my dog. My cat is not in here. He's usually in a bed over by my window. He's probably up in my husband's office right now. Okay, and I do like to put a block on these as I go to try to get them down on there really good. Is anyone watching me live? And hello if you're watching on replay, by the way. Is there anyone on here who is from Florida? If you are, you're in my heart. I read a thing from our local meteorologist here. I'm in the Atlanta area of Georgia. We're just above Florida, obviously. And so he posted a thing about, if you see people on the road with Florida plates, be kind. They're probably stressed out. Let them merge in front of you. Don't worry about it. I reshared it to my Facebook because I thought it was a nice message. Time to be kind to each other. There's just too much going on in the world right now, isn't there? Way too much. And I know I put way too much glue on this, by the way, speaking of way too much. So that's going to be gluing to my desk. I'm ready for some fall weather here in Georgia. We do get some color, which is nice. Nothing like up in New England or anything, but just really depends. I don't even know. Do you guys know what makes a good fall with nice color? Like I know has to have rained at some point, and I don't know when the important part is, or I don't even know what causes a good fall versus a not so great fall. I should really look that up because I'm very curious. But I always hope for nice color. All right. So again, we're building our background. How did I have this? I think I wanted it like this. These holly leaves. And then I'm going to fill in the missing parts as soon as I get all these down. And I die cut more than I need, so maybe I'll have to make another little background, maybe a tag with some of these or something. But I just wanted to not waste any of that piece of watercolor paper. So I just used up all the little little bits that were left over and kept die cutting. Okay. Thanks again to Brianne, who's in there with the links. That's so amazing. Let's see, Lee's saying at lower elevations, she doesn't know, but up where she's at in the mountains of Colorado, it's a combination of cool temps and moisture, but before the first freeze hits. So I wonder if that's it. I wonder if it stays too hot too late in the fall here in Georgia. Maybe that's when we don't have as good of color. I don't know. It's very fascinating to me. Did I miss glue on that one? Try to get that down. Yeah, I would think rain too, Polly. I think that has some kind of factor in it. And by the way, I apologize. I haven't fixed my nails since last week. I thought, well, it's mixed media Monday. Some of my nails may get messed up anyway, but then I'm just watercoloring, so maybe they won't. I don't know how you're doing either. Brianne, it's okay if you need to focus on the other one. Don't feel bad about that, because that's a lot of listening and linking going on. Brianne is such a rock star. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more under this little stem because I missed it. I don't know if I got that. I need to come out with that. Now I'm trying not to squish out the glue too much. I probably did on that little stem, just because I don't want that glue to be kind of on the surface of my paper and making it so I don't get a nice, what am I trying to say? So it doesn't make a mark for the watercolor. All right, so see how this looks right now. So again, I didn't worry as much about the center because I know I'm going to be putting a piece right over the center. And now I have all these pieces that are hanging off the back. And if I hadn't die cut those, I really didn't have to die cut those. I overdid it. I didn't need all that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and just trim along here. I should do it from the back, actually. All right, and so now I have another little piece here that I can take and fill in the rest of the places that need it. Brianne says she's been training for this for 12 years. Hashtag motherhood. If you missed earlier, Brianne is helping with links she's moderating this live, but then she's also over on Jennifer McGuire is live as well, which I'm sure every time I mention that, I lose people to go over to Jennifer, which is understandable. But anyway, how she's helping with both lives right now is just mind-blowing to me. She's a rock star. Okay, which way did I have it? I think I had it like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use some of these other pieces. But, you know, like I said, I could have just trimmed on and I would have had plenty to fill in my little gaps without doing this extra die cutting. But since I have them here, I might as well use them. So sometimes you can do this kind of background, and I don't know, is this too fussy for you guys? I love doing stuff like this. You know, I'm not like, well, I don't mind quick and easy sometimes, of course, but part of this for me is the process of making things. And so I'm not always looking for the quick and easy solution because I love the process of making. So it doesn't need to be quick and easy for me. I don't know. I guess I'm an oddball these days because I know a lot of quick and easy type of things are very popular. But I love the process of doing something like this. I think it's fun taking the time to fill things in like this and, you know, just having a little fun with it. So I am using, let's see, what did you say? Holly's asking, is that watercolor paper die cuts she is gluing down? Yes. So I used our Pink and Main watercolor paper, which is watercolor cardstock, but any watercolor cardstock, because I'm going to be using watercolors on this. So I decided to go ahead and use watercolor cardstock. And then I'm using our Holly branch die. I think I said it was called Holly branch dies. Yes. And I use the outline one of the two. I'm not the outline, the shadow. So there's like one that cuts really fine, pretty. Here, let me grab it and show you guys. Sorry for my reach. If you can see my arm, maybe you can't. This is the Holly. That this part cuts out without the shadow, and then I'm using the shadow piece. And by the way, this card, if you love the look of that one, I'm going to be making this one live on Wednesday, but on the, my brain is having a blank, the Creative Scrapbooker, I think it's called, Facebook group. Let me just make sure I'm getting that right. Sorry for my mouse, but I have to look at something real quick here. Creative Scrapbooker. Yes, they have a Facebook group, and I'm going to be live there on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern rather than here on the Pink and Main channel. So that's just, it came up. Michelle was going to be doing that live actually, but since she is getting ready in Florida for the storm that's coming, she asked me if I would do it as well. So we're going to be doing that on Wednesday rather than being here where I usually am on Wednesday. All right, so this is what we have so far. All those pieces glued down, and I can't remember if I finished my thought, but sometimes even if you have an interesting shape of a coordinating die, even if it's not anything recognizable, sometimes just putting those down on your background like this makes a really cool, just a little something in the background. Like even if you just did it white on white or color on color or whatever, it can just be a really cool bit of texture in the background. So kind of look at that as you're using your dies and see if there's anything that might look good with this technique. Now I'm just trying. I could do this in my paper trimmer if you're worried about cutting things and, you know, not doing a good job, not doing it straight or whatever. You could use your trimmer, but I love these Spellbinder scissors, by the way. These are so nice. I love how they feel in my hands. They cut so smooth and wonderfully. All right, so there's my panel all trimmed down, and there's that cool texture. So I could use this just as is, you know, white on white. Like I said, it looks amazing. If I wanted to just put a message, I could have filled in that center a little more, but I wasn't worried since I know I'm putting things over my center. Let me get all this out of the way. I have a little glue on my table. But what I'm doing today and why I used watercolor paper is I'm going to be using these Water Gem sparkling watercolors, and they're a lot of fun. They're powdered watercolors, And I'm going to set this to the side for a second here. Put this heavy block on it again and just let the glue continue to dry as I work on these little ferns. All right, I'm going to scoot up my chair a little better. I hope I haven't missed any other comments or questions. Grab some paper towel here. All right, so I don't remember. I think I used latte. I remember because when I used latte before, it made me want a latte. No lattes for me. So I'll get that out. And I think I also used flamingo or ruby. I might have used a little of each. And if not, that's what we're going to do today anyway. Oops, there's my hair. We don't want that. Ooh, look at how pretty this one is. Caribbean. Love it. All right. So I want to just, well, let's just talk about these for a second here. Okay, that sounds like I didn't use this one, but I know I did, right? Let me just look at this one more time and make sure I'm not dreaming. No, I'm sure that's the color I used. I think I just put that little cap back on there when I was done. So it is powder. See how I spilled a little powder out of there? If you get it on your desk and don't realize it's there, next time you do something wet on your desk, you may find an explosion of color. So do be careful of that. I need to put my pin back in my glue. Hello, friend. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Ziomara? Is that how you say it? I'm not sure, but welcome. I have a couple of paintbrushes here and I have water. Let's see, I'll try to get everything on screen for you. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my little fern here. Just get some water on there. And then I'm just going to have a wet brush, not soppy wet, but just a little wet. You know, I think there's some white in my brush. Look at that, there was. Oopsie, I forgot to clean it after I used some bleed-proof white on a card on World Card Making Day. I was splattering and I forgot to clean out my brush. Hi, Susan in Georgia. I'm in Georgia also. All right, I'm going to just dip my tip right in there. Just dipping my tip right in there. You could also make a little palette with these if you wanted to, but I'm not. And I'm just going to paint it on. And you'll see that you can keep it kind of heavier, dark, or really water it down and it gets lighter, kind of almost a yellowy color. I can take a little water and spread it around. That's it. And when it dries, it does have a pretty shimmer to it. The more you water it down, the less shimmer it's going to have because that shimmer is, you know, there in the fully pigmented material. I think the water I added to this earlier already dried. But just take a little powder and spread it around, and a little bit goes a long way. I don't want to put too much water into my little tub. But look at how pretty it is. I love it. And I think I wanted to, well, let me get these painted and then I'm going to do a little experiment with you because I haven't played with these a whole ton because I just recently got them. But I think it's one of those where if you put the powder down and then add water, it's going to kind of do some fun things. So let me see. I'm going to try that in a second here. I am getting an awful lot onto my paper towel. I probably could have done this like on my mat and used up some of that color rather than letting it just soak into my paper towel, but you get the idea. So can you see how pretty that is? I hope. Now, if I think it looks too light, which it is kind of light compared to my original, I can come in with more. I'll do it up here on my hand so you can see a little bit better and just add a little bit of dark, you know, just come in with more. That's one thing I love to do when I'm watercoloring is I add layers and layers to try to get some variation in the color. Like I don't want it to just be all one note. I like it when it has some lighter, some darker, you know, just all over the place. And this is just what I can do with just one color. You could do this with multiple colors as well. See how that's looking? And look at all this. I have so much down here on my paper towel. I feel sad. I want to take it back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. So I think This is my little scrap piece here from when I was die cutting earlier. This is also watercolor paper. And I think if I just took some of this and kind of, I'm just showing, this is just an example on this paper, but I think this is what will happen if I did this. If I wanted to make a really cool background, and see how that moves around like that. So that's another way that you could make a really fun background. Like I'm picturing putting some leaves on a background and then putting this on there and letting that water come down from them. Maybe I have to do another card like that another day. But anyway, just different ways to play with this stuff to make backgrounds and color in your die cuts and do different things. Do you understand what I'm saying with this? Am I making any sense, you guys? I hope I am. I'm gonna set that aside. But I think I'm picturing a card in my head, and now I think I have to make it with some leaves. I think that'd be really pretty, or even with hearts or with all kinds of things. So let me just color my other branch real quick. Just put some water on here, and then we'll tackle our background. Oh, good. Leslie says I'm making sense. Smush those leaves in the wet paint. Ooh, that'd be pretty too. You could do this like on a craft mat or something that's not absorbent, like this paper towel. Like I feel kind of sad that I'm wasting all this. Maybe I let this paper towel dry and then I could put that in my art journal because it's so pretty, right? Might have to do that, honestly. Sometimes your paper towels have some good stuff on them and they're worth keeping. That time I took way too much, and so I'm wasting it on my background. Not my paper towel, I mean. So that's another thing I like to do, though, is to take a bunch right in the center or wherever I want it and then spread it out with water. And I just go back and forth with it until I get how I want. So what do you guys think? Do you think you're going to like having a little, I know mixed media is not like the heart of Pink and Maine. We have a lot of cute stuff and fun coloring and different things, but I just love mixed media. And so I thought if I do something a little more mixed media on Mondays, it might be fun. Are you guys down with that? Is that okay? An okay plan? I don't want to turn anybody off if you're like, oh, I hate mixed media. But really, mixed media is not, all it means is you're using more than one medium on your project, right? And so it doesn't have to be anything grungy or anything else. It can be all kinds of things. Not that I mind grungy things either, but like my daughter likes to say, Mom, it's not that deep. That's what does anybody have a teenager who likes to say it's not deep? She cracks me up. All right. Wait a minute. What? It is the anniversary of my mixed media demo, like on the Hero Arts group, Brienne? Was that 1 year ago? Brienne says mixed media for life. Holly's totally down with mixed media Monday. Mixed media, let's go. All right, Jennifer Love it. Yep, clean and simple mixed media can be a thing. And, you know, Brienne makes a good point that maybe on some Mondays she needs to come on here with me because she is a mixed media goddess and we could do some mixed media together. What do you think, my friend? She isn't a big fan of being on camera, but she and I, if you didn't see it, we were on with Jen Shirkus on Friday, talking about shirk merch, which are shirts that we love to wear. So anyway, yeah, she's a seasoned YouTube professional now. Totally. All right, so see what we have so far, and I also have paint all over my hands, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to set these aside, and I think I'm actually going to not work on the same paper towel because I don't want to get that beautiful color all over my red background. So I'm gonna save this because you guys, this is, look at how pretty that is, and it has some serious sparkle going on. And I really think I need to let that dry completely, and then rip those out and put them in my journal because that's fabulous. Does anybody who's watching art journal? Does anybody even do that? I love it. It's my hobby. I say card making is my job. Mixed media is my hobby. But sometimes it can be both. All right, getting this off my hand a little bit. Hi, Donna, create by hand. I'm glad you love it. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Go put this down. So now we have our background, and this I'm going to just do the reds. And I don't honestly remember if I used one color or both colors, but we have flamingo, which may be too pink, but we'll see. Yeah, I didn't use that one before because it's not even opened. So I'll stick with the original. And by the way, I mean, if you wanted to watercolor a little image that you have, let's see here. Let me grab my little bucket of fun. It would be especially easy. Look at my bucket of fun. Look at all this fun stuff in here. Let's see, what would be good? A little pink. This is not watercolor paper. And I also think it'd be even easier if you did some black embossing to kind of contain the mess. But you could totally paint your little images with this kind of watercolor. Oh, and by the way, I should be showing, I can't show you everything in one demo. I always want to, but see, cute, cute. Pink and Main has a little palette, a little white palette with the little holes in it that you can put a little of the powder down in and wet it. And then it makes a nice little paint to paint with, which is probably better than what I just did there. And then they also have water brushes that you could use to do your painting. There's a whole set of them. This is the set. Easy Flow brushes, which I guess I should be using right now that I think about it. Hold on. Let me just show you the different tips on these. And this would make it super easy too, because you would have water right in these and you just pick up the water with the tip and, not the water, the color with the wet tip. So look at, there's fine little brushes and they have pink because, Pink and Main is always about the pink, all the way up to a big brush like that. So lots of great sizes in these. Highly recommend. So all the accessories to use with the water flow brushes. And maybe on a live in the future, I'll really watercolor some images to show you how to do that as well. But right now we're just going to do some quick and easy watercoloring on this background. So again, I'm going to take this. I don't want to get this wet. I'm just going to take this and do a little spritzing of it to get it wet faster. Okay. And then I'm going to use this one. We'll see about my size of brush. I'm not sure what I want to use here. Start putting it down and moving it around. And how much water is going to determine the vibrancy of it. It's going to determine how much sparkle it has and all the things. Okay. You can go in and add more after your first quick layer. But I'm just coloring the whole thing, background and holly leaves. And you can see I'm not being precious about this. I'm just getting color down. So it's not something that you have to be super careful and only get it in certain places, because that's just not the look I'm going for here. I'm just getting all over color. So Leslie does mixed media only on cards. Well, that's awesome. I love that you do it on cards. I don't know, my journal is kind of my creative outlet. I haven't done a journal page in a while, but, well, actually, that's not true. I have done some. I haven't done anything in there with Pink and Main yet, but I could still show you guys my journal after this if you're curious. Some of my journals. I guess lately I have put it on social media, but I think of my art journal as more my own, my own place to go for stress relief or inspiration or whatever. So it's not necessarily something I make and always have to post on social. Although, who are we kidding? I usually do. Now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, that's not the point. It's not like it's for a job or for anything like that. Not for affiliate links. So you could say I'm being kind of messy, but it's because I can be. It doesn't matter. And you have to kind of balance in between. It gets dried out, then you have to go dip more water, and then you go in and get more of the ink or the powder, whatever you want to call this stuff. Down here, my panel's already quite dry. I don't know if I spritzed it very well or if it's just already dried. But I will hit this with my heat tool in a second so that we can see how it's looking and then decide if I want to go in and add more color on any of them. And again, that center part's going to be covered, so I'm not worried too much about that. And both when I hit it with the heat tool and when I'm adding all this water, I do have to keep in mind that there is glue holding this together, so you don't want to, do so much that you make your glue stop adhering well. So you can see I'm kind of going for variation in color. I don't want it to just be all one note. I want it to have some darker points and some lighter points and just have some interest to it is what I'm trying for with that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and heat it to dry it a little bit. Careful not to blow my powder all over the place. It's not super sparkly. Like, it's not like you're doing glitter or anything. It has just kind of a bit of a sparkle. And again, I think I'm kind of watering it down a lot. That takes away some of that sparkle. But let me try to show you on the camera in just a second here. Like, I see some good spots. Like, look at this leaf right here. Let's see if I can catch the sparkle at all. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's showing up, but it's pretty. It's like this slightly rosy sparkle to it. And kind of like an iridescence almost. Look at how I really got some funky stuff going on with these. Oh, you can't see. Some little water effects on that. So it's definitely darker where it's, no, it's more sparkly where it's darker. So the more you're watering it down, the less sparkle you're going to have in the actual color. So let's go ahead and add some sparkle back on. But all I can say is, Lee, you need to just get some of this and play with it so you can see for yourself. Like that one, I went full on strong, and you can really see the spark. Can you see that sparkle? It's also wet, so don't be fooled by the wetness, but can you see that sparkle at all? I hope so. Can you add glitter to it before you dry it? No, there's no adhesive to it. So yeah, like Holly just said, the glitter would just wipe off. Glittering it would have to be a second step, you'd have to add some kind of adhesive to hold your glitter in place. This is just watercolor. It's just some watercolor that happens to have some sparkle to it. Just like you wouldn't necessarily be able to add glitter to just watercolor. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to let that dry completely. Super fun. I hope you guys can see how fun that is. And by the way, if you're making wish lists and stuff, I just want to put out a little reminder that not this week, but the week after, the 18th, is October release day for Pink and Main. So keep that in mind as well. We have some fun new products coming. I'm just looking at that. I can see the sparkle here, and I really wish you guys could because it's really pretty. It's just like a pink shimmer to this color, reddish pink. And it's really pretty. Darker the color, the more shimmer it has. That's correct, Holly. That is completely correct. When I'm watering it down more, it pretty much has no shimmer. But ones where I left it more of the full color, you can see more shimmer. So this isn't like a solid panel of shimmer either. It's like, a lot of stuff going on here, which I love. I love that there's shimmer in some places and not in others. And just, different variation color. I hope it doesn't just look like a hot mess on the screen. It kind of does. You can kind of see like splotchies and stuff, but I just love that look in person. And I hope you guys can see that at least a little bit. Okay. So while that's drying, let me get the other elements of our card so we can finish it up and you can be on your merry way. So the other thing I need to do is cut out my little hexagon background. And that's using these stitched oblong hexagon dies that are on my panel here, my magnet sheet with the octagons. I love both of these. These both came out in the September release, and I've used them both repeatedly over and over and over and over. So let me see. I think it was this size. Yeah. So I'm going to cut that out. My die cutting machine is to the side. And again, I'm sorry for all my creaking. I don't know if you can hear it, but I have a very creaky chair that I sit in. I need to get some WD-40 or something and see if it would help. All right, so I'm having some problems with my plates on my die cutting machine, so just ignore this. But my sister-in-law used it all weekend at the Crap and Crate delivered, and I'm not sure what happened, but now my plates are dirty and they're getting like little marks on my die cutting. And I tried cleaning them earlier, but it just didn't seem to help. So I need to figure that out. But I don't even know if you can see that, but if you can, just pretend it's not there. All right, so I'm going to mount that on just a regular A2 size panel or card. If if I were a good person who actually made finished cards instead of card fronts. Let me see if my sand eraser will take that off. I don't even know if it shows up on screen, but there's some Mars on this, marks that I don't love. And by the way, that was a couple weekends ago, not this past weekend. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Yes, all the sparkle, guys. Yeah, the variation, I agree, Lee. That's part of the beauty of mixed media. Well said. All right, so I had this kind of going off this a little, coming together at the bottom, like that. I'm going to take my liquid glue again. I do kind of, for the most part, just try to dot, along the whole thing, but I don't have to worry about like solid coverage everywhere. This is strong glue. It'll hold it very well. Of course, where my fingers are, I need to get some. Okay. I always like to put something heavy down when I'm doing the liquid glue, like heavy acrylic block, or I have these really nice Share Handmade Kindness blocks from Bossy Jossie. My friend Jossie, she's awesome. Okay, Sorry, it takes a lot of concentration for me to put glue on, apparently. I go quiet. Okay. Put this here. All right, so I did use a foiled piece on this. I'm gonna trim it a little. Sometimes these, oops, I went into it a little more than I meant to. I meant to just kind of grab the edges. Anyway, let me finish my thought on that. What was I trying to say before I got myself distracted? I did this in advance, but I foiled it with our mink. I used the Satin Sage Cheer Foil. And this is from, hold on a second. I need to pop out of my chair here. So this pack of Christmas sentiments, which is also in the September release, it has all these fun little messages in it that you can foil. So they are toner printed. And so I use just a little banner Merry Christmas, which is, I don't even see it. It's just a rectangle one on there somewhere. But they have some where the background will foil. They have some where the writing will foil. Just depends on what's black. It's where the black is what's going to foil. And then after I foiled it, of course, I have my negative piece that I can use and put that on, a white toner piece or whatever color I want, and have that as well to use. And so I'll have to do that as well. If you wanted to see how to do that kind of toner foiling, I did it on Friday on my live, and I'll do it this coming Friday as well. It's really, really easy. Really, really easy. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a lot of glue on this. Make sure nothing's coming up from all the water. Oh, Jennifer Love, thank you for the kind words. Who worked with me at Hero, Jennifer? I'm curious who that was. Who's your childhood best friend? Yes. Oh, Christmas Sentiment. She's putting the link. This bottle is like, okay, I'm not going to use that at the moment because it's low because I put most of my glue in this little bottle. I should have put this down on this before, so it was gluing down that whole time when I was working on other stuff. That would have been smarter of me. But it was drying, I guess, so I couldn't. Yeah, that's why. Okay, I'm going to put a bigger block back on there. Oh, Mary Dawn. She's awesome. I haven't talked to her in a very long time. That's really cool. I hope she's doing well. Okay, let's see. The other thing I need to grab out is my sequins. So let me get those while that's adhering. So I showed these, I think, on Friday, but there's all these fun confetti sequins at Pink and Main. I think this is what I use, which is the Gypsy, which is a gold. But I just love all the different colors and types they have. I love these. I use these on my World Card Making Day demo on Craft Roulette, Glistening Night. By the way, if you missed it, this is the card that I made on Craft Roulette. I'm like on top of my sequins here. It's a little fun shaped card because we had to make something that was not a standard A2. We had to use stars and world, which is You're Out of This World, and a mood board of colors. And so I picked space colors, galaxy colors is my mood, and I made 3 of them. So anyway, this little oh goodness, now I forgot the name of that set. I think it's called Out of This World or something. That's another Pink and Main set. Let me look it up real quick because now it's going to bug me. Although I'm sure Brienne's going to find it before me if she's still finding links. Yeah, it's called Out of This World. I should have known. The obvious name. So if you wanted to watch the replay of that card, it's on Craft Roulette World Card Making Day. And I was at 2 o'clock, which was an hour into the show. And it was funny. I was so worried because I only had a half hour. And so I over prepped. Like I was so prepped that I got done in like 15 minutes out of my half hour, and it was just silly. I don't know why I did that, but I was too worried about going over that I prepped too much. And so where can I get that block? I think Brienne can probably help you with that. The person's stores, she's called Bossy Jossie, and I'm not sure what she has in stock right now, but I have a big size, I have a smaller size. So Brienne already linked Craft Roulette. Got some leftover, yeah, here we go. Some leftover foam on the side of my desk. Jossie.com. There you go. Okay. She also does custom stamps. So if you wanted to have a little stamp to put on the back of your cards, Jossie does those as well. Pretty fun. I like to put liquid glue on the back of my foam just to give it a little more wiggle room. Although sometimes if I'm not putting that much, it doesn't always wiggle as much as I'd want. I also feel like maybe it keeps it like super duper stuck down. I don't know. I'm trying to get that somewhat, let's see, did I have it centered? I did. Side to side, top to bottom. Might want it a little higher than center. Is that straight-ish? Okay, so I did that with foam adhesive to pop it up a little. I also used some twine. Let me grab that. Pink and Maine has some great baker's twine, like the, here, let me grab it and show you. The super cute white in color baker's twine. But I thought on this card, the solid kind of looked nice on there. So this is something from my stash. It's either hemp teak. I think it's hemp teak. It seems like hemp teak. Lee says the foam can actually come off, so liquid glue is great to add. There you go. I didn't really say what I was doing with that bow, but anyone need a bow tutorial? I don't know. I like to make two loops and then tie the loops together. That's how I usually make a bow. All right, so I just put this on straight. This is a different shape than my original because I think there's like only one of each, and so I'd already used up the little rounded happy holidays. And so I'm putting this one on this card. I think I just kind of set it straight across that. It's a little bit different shape. So now where do I want it? Maybe still about right there. Yeah, I'm going to try putting some foam on it, I think. What if I put the foam right on my card? Would that be weird? Like set it on here, and then that's where I want my thing to lay down. This may be a bad idea. We'll see. We'll see if this covers right. See what I did there? I just set those two pieces kind of lined up, and I'm going to set my message right down on there just so that I could get it in the right spot with all that stuff going on. Then I have to make sure I cover it all. That kind of worked. Can't say I've ever done it like that before. That was a new technique. And I'm putting a big glob of glue there, and I'm going to stick my little knot right to it. I'm going to try to put that on there to let that glue set where the knot was. And I'm seeing that Linda's never seen a bow tied like that. I don't know. That's how I always do it. So again, I just took it. I keep it on while I'm doing the bow so I don't cut off more than I need to. And I start at one end and make the loop. Then I make the second loop. I have to make sure it's big enough that my big old fingers can manage it. And then I just tie the two loops together and then reshape my bow. Pull it tight. And then when I have it where I want it, I'll go ahead and, trim it off of my roll, my spool, and then trim the other end as well. So, all right. And then I'm going to add my sequins and we'll be done with this card. Many more than I needed. Take my pickup tool. I'm going to use the wax end of it to pick up these little sequins. And let's see. I'm going to put a couple here. Let's see. I wanted to have a bigger one there and one there. Sometimes these little sequins stick together. Oopsie, that one went flying on me. I have a sequin collection on my floor. Trying to make sure I just have one. Some of these are looking a little thick. I guess that's just one. Okay, and up here I'll put like 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Big, little, medium. There's like 3 sizes in here. There's a small, medium, and large. So I was doing one of each in each of those places. All right, so there's my card. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. There's good shimmer right there. Can you see that one? Shimmer, shimmer of these wonderful sparkling watercolors. Put them back on the view again to show you. Let me get the pin in my glue. I lost it. Where did it go? Do you guys see it? Oh, there it is. That scared me. Thought I lost my pin. For one thing, that'd be scary because if it was on the floor, I would probably step on it with my bare feet. I have shoes on right now, but you know, someday I'll have bare feet in here and that would be terrible. So again, these are the Water Gems sparkling watercolors that we used on that background. I want you to think about your die cuts and see if you'd ever want to make a background like this where you just put the plain die cuts on the back, either add watercolor or some kind of color to the background or not, or just leave it whatever color, white on white, color on color, whatever. But these are fun. I like these a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I've always made my bows like that, and they always turn out kind of well. Jennifer Engel, hello. I was doing some more mixed media, which you said you were going to do every now and then on the other place we were chatting. So I consider, do you guys consider this mixed media? I do. It's a lot of different mediums going on here. Really, I only just use the watercolor, so I don't know. Maybe it's not, but there's sequins and papers and all kinds of stuff. It's more than just a simple, you know, color your images and put them on a card kind of situation. So, all right. So people wanted to see my journal. Why am I not seeing my Dina journal? Hold on a second here. My journal's not where it goes. Where did I put it? I'll just show you my older one. Oh, here it is. Never mind. I found it. This is my older one, but let me find my other one too. So keep in mind, these are not much in the way of pink and mane. Probably no pink and mane in these, but they're, you know, I'm going to be doing more of that now that I'm here. But I also love to do mixed media on cards as well. So, so I took a class with Dina Wakely. If you guys don't know who Dina Wakely is, she makes products for Ranger, and so I love her stuff. And so this was from a class I took with her. Class. That's me with purple face. I cannot draw people, but you know, that's that. She taught us how to make some really, you know, simple flowers. All right, so here's a page that I did more recently, just with lots and lots of acrylic paints and die cuts and putting tissue paper down and things like that. This was in class again when we were learning how to make flowers. I love this. Underestimate me. That'll be fun. That sounds like a warning, doesn't it? This was a recent one I did. This was for a blog hop, actually. It's on my Instagram for suicide awareness. That was, you know, kind of a moving hop, but I have some issues with my past self, but she was young and I forgive her. Isn't that a nice message? Then when I have to clean off something, I just put it in my book, and these will become things later someday. This one I accidentally I shut while it was still wet, and so it ripped the paper, but that's kind of a cool texture. Ripped book texture. All right, so that's my latest stuff that I was doing. And then this is my older book. Oh no, this is the wrong one. This is when I was teaching. I was doing a little bit of Zoom art lessons with my niece when it was the pandemic. Gosh, I can't even talk. So we were doing some fun things. This is my book with her. This is where we were blowing paint around with a straw. She loves dragons, so we did this. We did like bubble wrap in paint to put on there, and some glitter. And anyway, 2021 is when we did that together. Anyway, that's not what I meant to show you. So where's my other book? Oh my goodness, I'm losing all my things. This is not the book I wanted to show you is MIA at the moment. So maybe next Monday, if you tune in for Mixed Media, I'll show you my other book. But here's another thing where I attempted to draw a face-ish kind of thing. Not that I'm good at drawing faces, but be messy and complicated and afraid and show up anyway. All these messages like this are Dina Wakely, and I think they're awesome. This one's a while ago. I took a class with Milagros, who lives in Puerto Rico, and she owns a store there. And this was using something kind of like the powder watercolors. I can't remember what they're called. Color Sparks, maybe. And we painted with them, and I just loved how that turned out. I don't know if you can tell, but that's yeah, there you go. That's a sea turtle stencil that we put some paste through. And so I started out with a photocopied picture of my daughter, and then it looks absolutely nothing like her, and she became kind of a sea creature as I did the class. So it's just kind of fun. But we use that to kind of trace the shape. This was another Dina Wakely class that we did these. So anyway, so that's some of my art journaling that I love. So so that's why it makes me happy if I can even do a little bit on cards like today's cards. So yeah, Avatar does look like Avatar, doesn't it? My sea creature. All right, so go back to my face for a minute. So that was that. Thank you for, what do you want to call it? Putting up with me as I showed all that, I guess. Humoring me. That's the word I was looking for. But I love getting messy in my art journal. So on Mondays, we might do some paste through some awesome Pink and Main stencils or do different things. But I'll usually, I think I'll keep it on cards since, most of us here are card makers. But that's the plan. So I want to again mention before I go that we're doing our fundraiser. So again, this beautiful card panel. So it's like paper, paper panels of stained glass views, mountain views. Anyway, what am I trying to say? 100% of the profits of the sales of these panels goes to hurricane relief efforts in North Carolina. So you can find this product in the news section of the Pink and Main website. And we would love it if you were interested in supporting that. And then a reminder that Pink and Main is going to have delayed shipping for the rest of this week as they get ready for the new hurricane that's coming towards Florida. So let's keep them in our thoughts and hope that it's not bad and they make it through okay. But thank you guys for being here today. Demo Donna is going to be on, I think, in just about an hour and a half, maybe, here on the Pink and Main channel. So check that out as well. And all of our lives are available on replay if you do miss them live. And I'll be back not on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to be over on Creative Scrapbooker Facebook group doing a live at 3 p.m. Eastern. But then I'll be back on Friday for another foiling adventure. All right. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.